much, Red Eye. And indeed, here we are getting ourselves ready for Game 2 now between Newbee and Liquid. Game 1, a little bit of a beatdown and just a show off how well Liquid can play a certain style of the game at the moment. Game 2, the fantastic thing about this patch, we're seeing so many different heroes, so many different strategies coming out that it's going to continue here. Different things coming out. The Weaver for the side of Newbee. Yeah. Liquid, maybe something a little bit closer to home, but finishing off with that MP.
Liquid's draft, no surprise.
I was going to say,
right?
that's a Liquid draft.
Liquid hasn't even played this draft before, only. It's been OG and Liquid have played this draft, basically. Two good supports, fairly good at saving, especially the IO counters out kind of Doom, Disruptor, heroes like that. They just need to weather the storm, basically, and push towers and maybe get late game, maybe. I think their late game is potentially good, but the Weaver plus the Alchemist with the hypothetical Ags on Weaver sounds real good.
I mean, they're going to be time-lapsing people, glimpsing people. The time travel is going to be real for the side of Newbee if they can get it online. And the way that we've seen them play the Alchemist before, it's I can't remember the last time we've seen Newbee have a game with an underwhelming Alchemist. They seem to be able to always create the space, allow the game to go on to the point where it is going to become effective, and we'll indeed see if that's going to be the case here in Game 2. Game 1, they're only given 27 minutes really to show off their style, but with a lineup like this, do you feel we can be expecting a longer game here?
If Liquid wins too many team fights like last game, the game just ends, because they have 3 tanky heroes, all very good at pushing. Obviously Prophet not super tanky, but great at pushing with Treants. Lone Druid takes towers, Bristleback doesn't die, so he should be able to push towers afterwards. It just kind of comes down to how Newbee does their team fights. Can they get Dooms off on the right targets while getting a good Supernova off, while picking off IO, for example? If they can do that, they're going to win this game. Their lanes are as well. Can they punish the IO and Bristleback? It looks like they're going to be mid. Can they punish those heroes? Can they grab all the runes? There's so many unknowns here.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about dooming the right target. I mean, I guess, who are you ideally dooming here?
Bristleback's not bad, because if he doesn't cast Quills, then he doesn't actually right-click very hard.
But he's still going to have that... Oh no, yeah, actually, no, in that sense. I mean, he's not going to die, but you can force him to really not
do mediocre right-clicks.
Yeah.
Like, it's still something, but if you can't cast Quills and you can't cast Goo, you're not amping up your Warpath stacks, and your right-click damage isn't very good, especially if you go like a mech pipe build. So it really depends what Fada builds. Who was the Bristleback we saw the other day that won? I think it was when OG played... Complexity, maybe? I can't remember.
There was an OG Liquid game where we saw Mind Control play the best.
Yeah, you're right.
And he was having an absolutely insane game.
And he got like 2 tank items, but then he went like damage. He got like, and by the end he had like Abyssal with an MKB. And if you doom him then, it doesn't matter. But dooms on Bristol can be significant. That or Earth Spirit are probably the big ones, maybe IO, for example. But dooming heroes like Nature's Prophet and Lone Druid in most cases is just a huge waste.
I mean, I really feel that this is going to be scary for Newbee, the fact that they've let the side of Liquid get these comfort picks. I mean, just the supports alone. The fact you've got Jerax ES and Kuroki I, this is arguably their 2 strongest supports.
Yeah, and the damage output that Earth Spirit does in the mid game is ridiculous. There's been so many games where it's just very clear that an Earth Spirit being in the game is what won them a certain team fight. So Jerax can win some of those fights in the mid game stages, then it will allow Liquid to just barrel down power. So yeah, those heroes are a huge threat for Newbee.
I mean, let's talk about this mid lane Bristol that Fada's going to be playing this time. Obviously, as we were saying ourselves, the last time we saw it was Mind Control playing it on the off lane. I mean, the decision to run it mid, he does pretty well against the Alchemist down here, Purge. Is that the reasoning here from Liquid?
Yeah, well, I mean, Bristleback's always good against a lot of 1v1s. In reality, he has lots. He can last hit with a spell while also harassing his opponent, while also last hitting. He can survive a lot of things. He's great in a lot of spots, but they have to put him somewhere, and they could put him off lane hypothetically. This could have been Mind Control playing it, but they wanted to fit the Prophet into their lineup, so not too weird that he's here. And he works against lots of stuff, definitely works well against Alchemist.
I mean, talking more about that Prophet, the fact that it was picked up 5th, do you think that was always Liquid's intentions, or do you think Kuroki, whilst he was drafting, he just saw that opening at the end, and I mean, for what reasons, looking at Newbee's draft, would you feel that you go for that Prophet this game?
Well, it's a good hero for pressuring, and there's a hero that they need to pressure, it's Alchemist, so him helping out with some of those ganks can be really good, and it also pushes out lanes, that way it gives them the ability to predict where their opponents are going to be, and potentially take team fights on their terms, which would allow them to take towers afterwards. So it's important to have that kind of knowledge that you get just from being able to easily push any lane at any time, or if you do end up losing a team fight, maybe you can split push and force your opponents to do things that they would normally be able to get advantage from. So there's a lot of really good things that Prophet does, and look at this now. Phoenix can't. There's 2 Treants just chasing through the jungle. He's like, please leave me alone. Please, God, stop. he's not even paying attention, and he's gonna get some stacks off here in the meantime. But this is doing so much, and now they know Phoenix is not mid. Just go back and play fully aggressive. He can maybe soul kill move.
Oh,
no, he's got no mana.
Going in, yeah.
It's got
Where's your man goes?
Point. He's got 2 items lots, dude. Ooh, there's a regen bot rune. That's
that's the dream rune for the man. I mean, I guess he's got to be careful about the acid spray, but yeah, if he can position himself around and find that opening. I mean, we saw just then, as you said, if he had a little bit more regen, that would have been a kill.
Sometimes, alas, you're limited. They might try for a Moo kill here. Kaka's in the area. It's got only a level 1 Sunray, so that's basically like better than four heroes put together.
Getting the Phoenix for the second time as well this series. Obviously, game 1 it just wasn't. You didn't really have the kind of team around it to do as much, and just the pressure from Liquid was absolutely insane. Of course, after the point of losing those 2 team fights that we saw. Game 1, and that's the thing I think, as you said as well. Just looking at the potential of the 2 teams push. When it comes to team fights, if Newbee's getting wiped, Liquid's going to be pushing a lot quicker than if it was vice versa.
It's still, yeah, it's still decent for Newbee. Weaver, Alchemist, they're going to do lots of right-click damage, but you're definitely right. Liquid's push is amazing, and it's amazing right from the start of the game. Like, it isn't until like mid to late game that Alchemist or Weaver are good at it. But Liquid right now, they could actually just 5-mana tower. If they really wanted to, they're going to want to collect some levels first, but Psycho mid.
And Ego going in onto Moo here, the stacks building up, the Sunray coming through with the heals. Is it going to be enough to keep this man alive? But Fada moving in with the regen from Kuroki. There's your first, but they will lose Kuroki in return. They may lose Fada as well, indeed, with Newbee's reaction, sending the heroes towards the mid lane. So they find themselves a second. But first blood does go the way of Liquid, but I think those 2 kills kind of nullify that off, and indeed the gold swing favourable for the side of Newbee.
Yeah, they were really set up for that. The Phoenix the Sunray just made a huge difference, kept the Alchemist alive. He also had a wand, gave him a huge heal there. He's not 6 yet, but that death is pretty good for him. Limiting what Fada can do is great. On the other side, the supports are getting experience from that, and very often when we see these like timeouts of ganks and counter ganks, the supports that are doing the ganking get a lot more. Because that means Jarex is going to hit 6 faster, and then he's going to have that earlier time period where he just owns heroes like Doom and Alchemist in teamfights, cuts right through their armor. And
I really feel this is something that we kind of see happening for the side of Liquid a lot. I mean, yes, you know, they lose a couple of heroes in the mid lane, but that means their supports and Newbee, they're heading their attention towards there. And this is giving Tumberman a lot of space on this lone druid. He's 31 for 16 at the moment in terms of CS, and it's going to be a very, very quick Midas time in this game.
It's pretty close to what Weaver's doing. Never mind, 21 last hits on Weaver.
He's got the Midas down now, 5 minutes in. It's coming out.
I'm a little surprised how's last hitting this poorly. I haven't been watching that lane too much, but I'm going to assume it's because of Treant manipulation. Pull creep waves around, force him to last hit under tower, mess up the pulls, for example. It makes it so there isn't like a really straightforward pattern that Hao can use to get a lot of farm.
Just a 5-minute Midas here for the lone druid as he picks it up from the side shot. Matumba Man, it's got to be one of his fastest timings this series.
That was the first thing he bought.
This land, sorry. Yeah.
He actually bought nothing else, just Orb of Venom, Culling Blade with 1 set of Tango. So.
And it pays off if you can get it at this rate.
Oh, easily, because most players are getting it like 7-9 minutes. He's already used Midas twice at that point compared to those players. So you're talking already 400 extra gold than those players would have in that time period, which is going to translate to a faster Radiance. Maybe that comes at a point where Alch's Radiance isn't even up, you know?
I was going to say, yeah, at this point, he really is going to be giving that Alchemist a run for his money, quite literally.
Just super rare. Completely rare. That said, there are a few stacks here for Moo. A lot of smaller creeps as well, and he is, of course, going the typical Midas build. Soaring into Midas this time.
I mean, I think he's got the armlet.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, soaring to armlet.
I was totally thinking armlet. I said Midas.
Midas on the mind.
We really did have Midas on the mind.
Yeah, indeed, the armlet will be the next one coming out. We can see already the stacks here. It has been blocked up by the side of Newbee, so they're not going to be able to get that one again.
Big D word.
Indeed, and with the drive, fine. They're going to go on him here, Jarex, leading forward with the slow. He's going to try for the TP out. Is he going to make it? Yes, he is just. Kaka, by the skin of his teeth.
Did you know he denied the rune while diving there too?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like,
what a flashy play.
I was like, this is ridiculous. If he would have died for it, I was going to make fun of him, but that was godly what he just did. That was really
There's a reason why they like to get this man the Phoenix. I mean, as we've been saying, and as the panel have been saying, all of Newbee's players have certainly been performing to the best of their ability this LAN, and well, we might see some kick off here. Look at how with this rotation. I'm just Kuroki.
And no stun. Alright.
Alright, easy game for Kuroki.
I'm a little surprised he stayed around, but I guess they could have picked him off if they were able to chase him down, for sure. And no glimpse either, so they steal the large stack. That means the move's going to have to play a little bit more normal. they're actually contributing 4 heroes. Well, that was contributing 4 heroes to trying to protect Alchemist's farm, and they still didn't get punished for it. So Liquid's getting so much, and in the meantime, they're still free farming.
He really is. I mean, at this point of the game, 7 minutes in, I know it's still early days, but the fact that you are ahead of the Midas, I mean, let alone being equal, that's...
You talking about Alchemist?
Alchemist. I've got Midas on the Midas as well. I keep saying Midas, Burge.
It's because they're building the same item, so we're like, oh, he's clearly doing that thing.
But no, this has got to be... This is really good news, and we know how much Matuma Man could do with this lone druid. We have seen time and time again. It's the same as it's like them, really.
Yeah.
I'd say these 2 heroes are the scariest if you allow Matuma Man to play them, and especially when they're in the right kind of lineup for the side of Liquid, which we're pretty much seeing happen time and time again, because Kuro, he always gets the draft he wants at this.
Yeah, and lone druid against heroes like Doom is just really effective because he doesn't care about getting Doom. Now he's got to be a little scared about stun rate, but you know his allies can back him up for that kind of a situation. And Weaver Disruptor, like he's quite survivable against these guys, and his Bear, if he gets Radiance, can make a lot of space. So it's a great lone druid game. He's off to a great start. He is behind Alchemist now, so naturally Alchemist is going to get the Midas first. Just kidding. Radiance first one's like, well, I guess not because he's going Armlet initially.
It's going to be interesting to see
it
how
might be about the same time.
Yeah.
If Liquid hits that timing first, and Alk is still trying to finish up that Rebel.
That was for the Armlet done now, so 8-minute Armlet.
He's got 900 gold, and Lone Druid has 800, so I guess they're actually about even here.
Yeah, but I don't know, I'd say at this point, you're probably looking at the Alchemist to win. The stacks are still there. And
all comes down to the ganks, really.
It does. If they can shut down this out.
Liquid's moving now. They get the tier 1 bottom. They did just TP Mind Control mid to pressure the tier 1. That's not going to stop anytime soon. They can easily start defending their towers as well. They just need to bring about 4 heroes to do it. Although Earth Spirit's not 6 yet, that's a downside. Somebody just got glimpsed, I believe. Not true. Somebody TP top. Oh, they're still TPing it more.
They're trying to hold this one off. Here comes Matuma Man.
Okay. I didn't see who got glimpsed back. Maybe the IO, perhaps?
I think it was Jarrett. Oh, no, Jarrett's still got his TP available.
It must have been IO.
Yeah, it must be.
It could have been Mind Control actual TP, and then he ultied for teleport back. Oh, they're going bottom.
Brought out straight away. Here we go. Dropping the Zoom onto Fada. Kuroki trying to make himself out to the sidelines, but there we go, boys and girls. The Sunray, ladies and gentlemen, of the dive for.
Oh, what? The Spirit, he got him. Was he ready for that one? Fada is still gonna die, but that was almost not bad. What a sick play.
I mean, yeah, they bring one down with them. I mean, still, at the end of the day, yeah, the 2-for-1 trade, Newbee will take it.
Oh, it could have been quite a bit better.
It could have been better.
Still a fun little engagement. It was good, though. They pick off the Bristleback. With that said, though, Liquid's going to TP back mid, and they're going to take this tower now. There's almost no way they stop it. Phoenix is also level 4, so there's a lot of level problems going on with the supports on both sides. But Mind Control already prepped up mid. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see them rotate for this. Matuma Man's trying to create pressure in the offlane. He's doing a good job. That tower is also gone. Most of these towers just falling for Newbee repeatedly. Liquid's going to hold on to this tower gold advantage, and it's really going to influence these fights a little bit more. Although the net worth is pretty close, but that is being offset by the fact that Alchemist just power farms so fast.
Absolutely, and he's now coming up to 1k ahead. So 10 minutes in, it's not the biggest of leads for the Alchemist, but we can certainly expect to see him continue that lead against the Matuma Man lone druid, Jack, with his Invis rune. I'm seeing if he can set something up in the jungle. He's going to see what he can find. He's going to spot out Moot on the out.
He's 6. If they get a rotation,
they've just taken down the mid tower, so they can send more heroes up in Liquid.
There's a ward in the way, though. They're going to spot the rotation. Trying to play it slow. Okay, he might be able to get How. If he disables How. No, they're way gone. As you can tell, I'm bad.
He does have a Magnetize. Yeah, just going to draw the Magnetize in silence. Jarrett, he goes for the play here, and he...
Get it.
Oh,
it's really
not long enough.
And now he can't TP. He actually fed.
Yeah,
that's
maybe
a pretty big mistake.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake here.
It would have been a huge kill, but very difficult to get that when you're still under leveled on Earth Spirit, because in fact he actually stacked his disables a little bit. He needed to wait full stun duration and then silence afterwards. And I think what he did there is he was stone efficient in that he pulled back the rock that he punched, and by doing that
he had to do it straight.
Exactly, and then he's only getting like what 2.5 seconds to disable basically. Instead he could have gotten about 4, in which case maybe he kills the Weaver. I just think he could have executed that slightly better, because as soon as the time lapse comes out, there's no way he gets that kill. It's a pretty big mistake in this match.
I was going to be very... I'm looking at the Weaver at the moment, of course, with that appearance to the mid lane. He's 3-0-1. He's having a very clean game. He's certainly losing out in terms of net worth to the other 3 big cores on the map.
Heavily.
By quite a while, for quite a mile, yeah.
And that was profit plus the fact that he rotated early and didn't get kills out of it. significant.
Yeah, that's going to be right. Yeah, the fact that the Weaver's only a few hundred ahead of the Prophet. I mean, mind control, he's easily keeping up with this how Weaver.
Oh, and I actually don't think I like how it's built this game. He picks up a Perseverance, which clearly is most likely going to be a Linken's. What is that stopping this game, though?
Nasal Goo?
A hypothetical Nasal Goo or Orchid on Prophet. That's it. If I like Dragon Lance level 1, get 15 strength, 15 agility, and actually have an item that helps him fight.
More in the mid lane, running away. Jerax. Could be fine.
They don't have the Glen?
It's too far away. Look at the edge. Look at the range. It's not quite going to get him. I mean, Sunray is there, and it will bully Jerax right back down, but he gets himself safely away. And Newbee do disengage, but he's not unable to find a kill on the Earth Spirit. And again, this is kind of Newbee. We're seeing them constantly looking to kind of put 3 heroes to look for a kill. And that's of course going to leave the map open elsewhere. Radiant's now done on the Alchemist. How's Lundra doing? He has got his relic, Matuma Man. How much gold is he away from the recipe? Still quite a bit. Okay.
Yeah, in the meantime, like he's been split pushing basically slightly while he's farming. And by doing this, he can't just fully focus on getting gold, which is that plus Regal Screed is why Alchemist got it a little bit faster here. So Newbee may be looking to take a fight now. They've got all their ultimates ready to go. Their team fight is clearly better. There's basically this period where Liquid needs to get their main tanky items to start the game off here, and they're close. Vanguard on Bristleback, he'll get S&Y next. The other supports have their items, but the big one is the Radiance. Once they have Radiance on Lundra, they're ready to fight, but not before that.
I mean, they will position themselves around the Dark Secret Shop, but already the TP back from Jerax towards the top of Matuma-Man. I mean, he's very aggressively farming here. He's going to go for the TP out. He's not going to make it. Matuma-Man a little bit too greedy here. They will kill the Weaver, but they lose the lone Druid for in the jungle. So a 1-for-1 trade there.
That's sort of worth it, I think, for Liquid. Really.
I mean, they are really shutting down how he is getting far behind now.
Yeah, like honestly, that was their second most farmed hero on their team, and right now he's looking like an off lane. He has no farm. This could put Newbee into this like 1-core lineup, and then all Liquid has to do is buy items that help them kill the Elk.
Yeah.
And if they kill the Elk, the fight ends basically, with the exception that he will be pulling some really valuable eggs this game. Mainly, God, they could have hypothetically time-lapse and Phoenix eggs. They could like save anybody on their team. Oh, this could be a big kill.
They will not find this Alchemist. The kinetic field will be chopped down, holding back Fada. They'll turn around with the concoction, but Newbee, not really with the damage output at the moment to turn back into a Bristle and Eye, especially with the Sandwich now picked up on top of the Vanguard.
So yeah, if Weaver's items don't continue up, if he doesn't teamfight really well in these next couple engagements, it's going to be really bad for them.
Looks like he's trying for a kill on Kuroki here, and he might just get it. He will. Take down the IO. Liquid on the chase down, but how's out of there?
That was really well done. He's actually got 3 kills, 4-1-1. I can't believe his net worth was so far behind. But these guys have been farming the entire game, Fada as well as Mind Control.
Yeah,
Lone Druid.
Yeah, Fada's been getting the stacks, the Alchemist and Alchemist, and the Matuma-Man with that very, very quick timing on the Midas. So, I mean, it's a hard game to keep up with the farm. But as you say, you know, how if he keeps playing it safe, keeps getting the kills like this, he can certainly catch himself back up.
I still don't see a lot of value in his item build, though. I think he's going to have trouble in those mid-game fights. Like, they're just going to goo it, and it's over. Like, his Linken's is essentially then an expensive stat item, but he could have gotten an expensive stat item. Like, Linken's gives you plus 15 to all stats as far... Let me double-check, because they just changed it. Plus 15 to all stats, it gives him 30 damage, costs 4,800 gold. He could get plus 15 to the stats that he cares about for literally the price of the... what's it called again? I literally just said it. Dragon Lance. It's 1,900 gold. It gives 15 agility, 15 strength. So much better than Linken's this game.
I mean, is there any chance there's a casual Perseverance into Desolator?
That's awful. That's like I just started playing Dota and I'm like, wow, Perseverance gives me everything I need. Damage, regen in lane because I keep having to go back to heal, and mana. It's perfect. It's not justified for the cost at all.
Bottom down in Jerax. Oh, but a savage roll from the Timmerman forcing Newbee back. He rolls himself and gets himself the magnetized to the sidelines. Mind control coming in. Look at Tron, but it's Supernova forcing the side of the to back themselves up. Moves, drops the stun onto the Timmerman. He zooms up as well. He'll try and walk this one off on the lone Druid. He should be fine. Harder backing off as well. On the sidelines though, how? He's going to look to pick himself up another kill. He should be able to find Kuroki here on the IO, and he will do indeed.
All right. Well, he keeps getting kills here. That's really good for them. I only got 1 kill though. I thought it was going to be more, but it wasn't. Lone Druid ends up staying alive despite getting doomed. He's almost got his radiance. Now he finally has it. He could have gotten this like 2, maybe 3 minutes earlier. This whole game would have been a little bit easier. Quite a bit easier.
But
for
it's
Liquid,
still a good timing. I mean, 60-minute Midas Radiance for Timmerman.
It's still fine, but now Alk has Boots of Travel. Now he's way faster than his opponents. He's almost got his next item. He just grabbed a bounty run for 500 gold, for God's sake. Like, how do you compete with that? He's like, oh, I was actually headed that way anyways. Thanks for the free item. That's actually so much gold.
Yeah, Mu really is finding the amount of fun that we expect from Mu Alchemist as well. As I said at the start, we've seen a lot of performances from Mu on this hero this LAN, and it can get very, very scary. And at this point where he is looking to be 5k ahead of the lead farmer of Liquid at 17 minutes in, game plan certainly seems to be set into play here for Newbee, and they are finding the momentum on that Alchemist that they needed. It is just indeed Hal, slightly struggling at the moment, but he's caught up with Barter. Yeah, he is closing this gap.
Yeah, it's these last couple fights, he's staying alive in them. He's
playing it really well. Yeah,
he has been just not dying, but that's basically a fixture of him being a good pick. Weaver is difficult to kill for the heroes that Liquid has. It's not until they get things like Abyssal Blades that Weaver has to be too scared.
It really is. I mean, it's all down to Jarrett catches him out at this point.
Yeah,
otherwise, you're not killing him. You're not, unless he overextends.
Or mind control buys like an Orchid, in which case he's protected against a Lincoln. So in some ways that build is alright, but I just wish he would have gone maybe a little bit more focused towards an early game build. Would have made his farm faster, lots of reasons like that.
We can see on the graph the full Alchemist effect beginning to be felt, and the net worth difference is a fight kicking off here on the sidelines by the secret shot. They roll in onto Mu. It's a big kill if they get it, and they do. The Alchemist taken down at the same time. KP rooted up. Matuma Man chasing this one down. He needs a bit of backup. Farda going to cut him from the sideline. Does he want to dive this one? It looks like he's a little bit scared of the subray, understandably, but with a backup of Kuroki. Farda goes in, Jack with the boulder smash onto 2. Setting up a second as they bring down the Kaka on the Phoenix. Hal now turning up the fight. We've seen how much she's been able to do before, but this time has to time lapse back out immediately. And Newbee losing 2. And could this be the start at this point of the game? 18 minutes in, where Liquid feel their strength and they want to abuse it as much as they can. Can Newbee hold back Liquid at this stage of the game?
Well, they got a 630 buyback out of it. They're going to do some chasing here. They're wolf down on Matuma Man. But I think this Liquid can back right now, and they got huge advantage. They killed Phoenix. Phoenix is alive now, and they got a buyback from Elk. So despite him still being miles ahead in terms of farm, actually impacts quite a bit. Buybacks now are more important than buybacks later, with the exception of the fact that you will die for a long time afterwards. So tactically that was really big for Liquid. They get a lot of gold from it as well, since he was by far the biggest net worth on the enemy team.
And it's pretty much what we saw again in game 1. There was that point where Hal brought back around the similar kind of stage, and then the next push when Liquid went in, as you said, we may see the thing where the buyback's still on cooldown. And certainly that extra death timer gives Liquid the opening to break one rack, so maybe even a second one with the amount of pushing power that they've got.
And now Fada's transitioning into damage items. He's got Vanguard finished, SNY's up next, and his follow-up's probably going to be something like an AC, most likely. And at that point,
who builds the AC, him or Matuma?
That's a good point, actually. I almost want it to be Fada, just because he's a little bit farther ahead in some ways, but AC is such a core item on the bear, and he has to get an armor item, so it probably has to be Lone Druid, but it would be a great AC game for Bristol as well, since he's against the physical damage of Alk as well as Weaver, both of them lowering armor additionally. So maybe buy something Harvest that I guess is probably the right thing to do. That way the whole team just survives team fights a lot right now.
Moves down bottom. I mean, Matuma Man did get the root onto Hal, but of course not enough control to bring down the Weaver. He did end up losing the bear. I'll have it back up in 10 seconds though.
He's a bear slayer, man. That's his second one.
This is nice as well, look. There was a scan here at this point from Liquid. They do know that something's going on. They'll
they
probably be aware that this one's going. Yeah, they'll dive for the Matuma Man.
They know he's still there.
Yeah, they're going to come in for this one. Matuma Man, is he going to receive any backup? Liquid are making their way over, but Matuma Man in a lot of trouble here. The control is there from the sidelines. Now they turn up. The Nature Trap climb through. They manage to take down the Disruptor. Supernova coming out from the side of Newbee though. Mind Control's trying to take it out, but he hasn't got the attack speed to do so. Now he himself's in trouble, as it looks like Newbee will be able to claim themselves a second. Mind Control taken down as well. A 2-for-1 there on the bottom, and it's 2 of the highest value heroes from the side of Liquid. Newbee going to be very, very happy with that exchange.
Yeah, especially because they did it right next to a tower, or they're just going to go home. Okay. I guess it's alright. They're not going to be able to kill Fada no matter what. But so surprising, they win a fight right under tower, and they're just out. They're gone. They get out of there. Huge kill up. Semi-major mistake from Jax there. It was a little bit of a clumping in the trees. He didn't get his ulti off. He casted it. He just wasn't close enough. And it's very rare that Earth Spirits miss that. But because they were grouped up in the trees, he just was a little too far away. And then they lose all of their damage in the team fight. I guarantee that if he got his magnetize off, they would have maybe committed to that fight and probably killed another hero on Newbee. But as soon as that was missed, it was over because they got a ditch. It's already a bit of an iffy fight from the start. And Lone Druid actually doesn't have his bear for 48 seconds because that just got sniped from house. So that was a huge gank as well from Newbee. So this farm speed is now bad. Like, that actually just kind of screwed for now. At least a minute.
And in a game as well where Matumbaman's desperately trying to keep up with the Alchemist, as you said, going to hurt him. There's now 7k difference between the two of them. Moot farming very, very well indeed, and it is going to be an interesting game as this one pans out for the Alchemist. So obviously almost certainly going to look for that Octarine, but then we're going to get closer and closer to that point where he is going to start to be able to buy the Academics for his teammates. How? 22 minutes in, he has the Deso finished on top of the Lincolns, and you know, after a start where he was lagging behind, he's now up there on par with Matumbaman's farm, and how he's more than recovered now.
Oh, easily, yeah. His build is completely fine now. He survived all the early fights, gets a bunch of kills, gets a couple bear kills, and now he transitions into another damage item, probably. Maybe he grabs something like a BKB. This is another problem with the Lincolns. He's still kind of killed if they do a bash into silence, the boulder smash. So maybe damage next for him. They need to get some solutions against these tanky heroes, and Alpha shouldn't be the only one.
This is nice as well. I mean, they're going for Roshan, they're going to do it at a pretty incredible speed, and as we see, no chance for Liquid to contest. They're going to come in with a nice 3-man Boulder Smash.
Oh, they're going in.
He's got a DD as well. It'll get Grizz back immediately doomed up as well. Can Liquid still try and take this fight?
They disengaged. That was perfect for them. A miscommunication from Newbee. They glimpsed him the same time they doomed him, so that means he just get out of jail free card. They're like, oh, thanks. Now we'll go do something, because now you don't have dooms. That's pretty valuable. You can also look for kills on the map. Maybe split push all lanes, look for a gank setup, relocate. I'm sure they're kicking themselves for not having Dragonite though. I mean, having Dragonite hypothetically over something like Bristleback this game could make all the difference.
Jax, he did just try and roll into Kaka, but there is backup, and a lot of it. Newbee jump onto the Earth Spirit, and a little bit of a kind of a rare over-aggressive play there from Jax. He's normally relatively safe on the Earth Spirit, but got himself into 4 then.
Is he feeling the pressure maybe? I hate to say it, but I mean, how many times has Liquid gotten to a grand finals and gone second? I'm sure he'll play better later.
We've got to keep the composure here indeed, as Newbee ready to fight, move with the concoction, eyeing it farther, they'll move in onto the Bristleback. Do they have the damage, the control to deal with him? They're just not even trying for the Bristle at the moment. It's not really the target they want to get.
Yeah, at maximum they can trade relocate for some spells here, but
as you said, the relocate's always going to come.
So Octarine now for Alchemist. That means 1 or 2 more items and he'll start buying axe for people. The start just might... Alright, you probably Weaver first, just because then you cover yourself. It's basically like your 7th item. You're like, hey, I'm going to give this to you, but you always have to use your ult on me, right? It lowers the cooldown of time lapse as well. It becomes quite good, down to like 16 seconds. Really good skill. Immediately after the Weaver Axe, I think I would put it on Doom instead. And the reason is because it's really good against Bristleback, because it applies Break, which will remove his passive. So it gives him a really straightforward way to kill him. Once you see that Axe Doom get casted on Bristle, the Weaver's going to shred him. It doesn't matter if the Wisp is there, it's going to just look like any other semi-tanky hero with a Wisp. It won't be in an unkillable machine, basically. So I think these Axe rotations that Aux can be able to give to the Doom is going to possibly break Liquid late game. Because right now it's not looking super good. They just don't have a good solution to Weaver, and the Axe solutions that they're going to give to their other heroes are really good actually against Liquid's cores. They like have to get a solution to Weaver. That's problem 1. They can kind of kill Alp, but killing Weaver as well is getting tough. Like Root is maybe the only good way they can do it.
Yeah, Root into a silence from Jax at this point, really.
Yeah, that sounds alright.
Yeah, this Weaver, Weaver with the Reaver. If you were in the state, you're going to become very, very hard to deal with. And he's going to just play games here with mind control, and I don't know, he's going to go straight for the TP out. It's the right play.
Yeah.
Just escaping, but this is scary for Liquid, as you keep saying. These calls for Newbee really coming online, and 26 minutes in, this was the point of the game that in game 1 Liquid were able to kind of storm the base. So Newbee very, very much more happier with the way that the game 2 is panning out, and I feel that they are in the lead at this point in the time.
It's absolutely clear that How was just a great solution against almost everybody on Liquid. None of their heroes can really stop them from just running at them and almost killing them. I mean, how many times did you just kill Wisp for free in the early game? And that's not going to stop anytime soon. He's now getting the Reaver, like you said before. That'll turn into a Heart, so then he's going to have insane amounts of HP. And then any right-click damage that they're going to throw at him is just easily going to be offset. And that's going to be comboed with a potential Axe on him. So that's going to make him even tankier.
Yeah, more
it's going to go up to like 3.5k HP, which is insane at this level. At this point in the game, that's so much. It'll be more like 3k, I guess, but can't burst through that. They don't have good solutions. At the very least, it guarantees that Earth Spirit's combo doesn't kill him, no matter what. and then he gets damage item after damage item after damage item to round the game out.
Partners now, the Shiva's guard done on the bristleback, but she's going to make him a little bit harder for How to chip through, but at the same time, How's Weaver? He pretty much ignores that bristle as we've been seeing and goes for those squishy cores and heroes like the Nature's Prophet. Of course, like Kuroki on the backlines, it's a great way to start the fight that can take Kuro out of it. And with the smoke from Newbee wrapping around, they might get themselves a pretty nice opening onto Liquid. Mind control. Spotted out here, and indeed, KB jumps forward. There'll be a silence on Twin, looking for the positioning here for the supernova, and there it comes. Can they take down the exit? They're going to be able to have the chance to do so. Tron caught out on the side of the Matumba Man moving in. He's doing a hell of a lot of damage, but they've already lost 2 Liquid. They're going to lose Matumba Man as well by the looks of it. It's a double kill for How, and this is what we're talking about at this stage of the game. How is just far too strong. They'll cancel the TB onto Bard, and they've lost 4, and Liquid now losing 5. As Newbee, at this point of the game, I mean 27 minutes in, it's their special timing so far in the series, and now it's the chance for Newbee to storm down a lane, and it really does feel like they're pretty far ahead at this point, though.
It really does. I'm a little surprised that Liquid didn't even GG right there, but they know that if they do hypothetically win a team fight, they will take a lot of buildings afterwards, so it has the huge Rax potential. But there's 5 dead heroes. I think they're getting Rax right now. At the very least, this tier 3 tower should die.
It's this 30-second cooldown on the death timer for both the Bristle and the Lone Druid. Look at the net worth difference, it's really tapered off here. Newbee, very happy with how this is going, and now straight up, moves got the AC, the heart on the Weaver, pushing power, and just the sustain of this lineup is going to be even more. Let's see how safe they want to play the Newbee. Already on the back line, they've actually caught Mind Control out, he's actually come in, they're starting to play games with him here, and I don't know if he gets himself out of it. Moon, can he get the stun off? Yes he can, the glimpse back as well, and Mind Control, he's well and truly dead. Another pick for Newbee.
When you looked at the draft, they looked so good for Liquid with their start, but the way that Newbee is playing, they're not playing very gank heavy. The only person that's been ganking in the early game was mostly Weaver. Almost primarily, Newbee just sat back and farmed a lot. They did some ganks occasionally, but they didn't hard commit to pushes. And the purpose of this is because if they gank too much and then Wisp turns something around with Relocate, then he gets all of his value in the game. But Wisp has just seemed like a worthless hero this game, and it's because of the way that Newbee's playing it. And the fact that their 3rd and 4th pick just completely countered Liquid's cores. And they were fairly unexpected, at least the Weaver semi was. Like, the Weaver and the Alchemist are just so difficult for Liquid's tanky cores.
They really were perfect picks this game. They really were. How's Weaver, as we keep saying, they just can't deal with it. And Moon, look at the net worth. He is doubling that at the second on the board. He's on 30k at this point in the game. 30k, 30 minutes in. It's, you know, it's the 1k at least GPM at the moment for the out. Against a team like Liquid, that's very impressive in itself. And we can see here Newbee just pushing on to the tier 3. How are you going to stop him? I mean, how he just really doesn't care, and now he's just going to start to chip away further, pushing back the bristleback, opening up this second set of racks that Newbee will start to begin to take.
It's so difficult for them to initiate here. And then, if that wasn't hard enough, you still have to worry about a Blink Doom or 2 Sunrays and a Supernova. Like, Phoenix is so good against these heroes. And it's just made worse by the fact they can kill the court. They gotta kill How here or something.
They've got to do something indeed, but already look at the bears just out. The bears gone. The racks are exposed. It's going to be a second man. The racks down.
Snap bear, 20 seconds.
Newbee here in game 2. Really stepping it up from game 1 where Liquid showed their strengths. Newbee very quickly turn around here and show theirs. And Liquid very much playing on the back foot at this point of the game. They're still trying to hold it. We saw there Nature's Prophet Mind Control trying for a bit of the wrap. This is looking very scary for Liquid.
Kaka's got 4,600 gold on a support Phoenix right now. Like, they just have almost everything they need. Shiva's Guard will really limit the damage output of the tanky cores, who generally have more survivability than damage. It's going to reduce the attack speed of the bear, and the bear doesn't even have, well, he's just now finished an AC. So all this attack speed advantage that Matoma Man just peaked at is completely countered. Never mind, he got a Vlad's. Okay, everything I just said is devoid.
I guess to this point, maybe just feeling that the pace of the game, they might even be able to finish before Shivas comes online. Just get the Vlad's to make the push stronger at this stage.
Look what he bought. He bought Vlad's and Medallion. These actually make it so Liquid's ability to kill is even worse. Whoever gets initiated on, Medallion on him, and he's going to stand close enough to have Vlad's aura. That's 11 armor.
Nice waltzed in. Keep him still hanging around here. Matuma Man joining the forces with Kuroki, and they'll look towards the Doom. They've lost Mind Controller and KP.
They gotta kill him, otherwise they're just getting...
He's just sticking around, and indeed they'll have to relocate out. They just can't deal with that.
He really doesn't want to lose the bear here. Oh, if this bear dies, it's so bad for them.
Oh, with the Purge creep as well. They're going to get it.
Oh my, level death, man. That's the bear counter right there.
The controller, how can they execute? How no, it's fine, laps. Trying to shoot you away, but with the Viper from mind control and hang, get the scrap, can they kill it? How no? Now they tried for that so desperately. Mind control committing a buyback. It doesn't work out. They lose the bear as well.
That was just such a good pick. Like, how do you stop Weaver? They have one stun, one silence. And Mind Control didn't go Orchid because that's not really his style. They're about pushing. And now Chuan's setting up top for Mind Control. Top guy's just gonna TP out.
Yeah.
Okay. They did predict, maybe that was a dire ping on the ward. Phoenix putting Phoenix wards down. Pretty cool. I'm sorry, that was Chuan's ward.
I mean, it really does feel at this point Liquid in such a tough position. Ow, he's already ready to come back in and okay, stun into silence.
Sentry spotting that one out. They might still go for it. He can roll. He's gotta go now. Alright, how much is this gonna do? A lot. Alright, that's a bad sign.
I don't even know a worse sign here for the side. Kuroki is in trouble. I'll go for the TP, go Scepter.
He actually does whatever he wants right now. There's no consequences. He'll buy MKB next, most likely.
Axe die.
Eggs.
Place your bets then,
Right.
Purge. Who's it going to? Who are you closing up the game with an Axe off?
Best target is Weaver, I think, easily. Just because he's about to get a damage item, and it guarantees that if he's initiated on, he's going to live because he's already got stupid amounts of HP. And if they go on anybody else, he can time-lapse them back. It's either that or Doom, I think. Doom would close the game out. Weaver would close the game out. I don't think you give it Disruptor here. They don't really need it to counter anybody specifically. I would definitely put it on Weaver. But that said, the Ags is here. He's going to pick it up.
Oh, who's he going to? Oh, it goes to the
Okay.
Phoenix.
I guess a similar thing as time lapse. Now he can sit way back and he can supernova somebody. It's a little scary though. Okay, they're going in.
There we go, on to Jarek the Purge as well, holding him in position underneath the static stone. Jarek's is gone. They've already found Kuroki on the backlines, but Doom on Safada. It's going to be a fall. GG is called, and Purge bringing a quite severe turn of events after game one. We are seeing how strong, in the right position with the right lineup, both of these teams are. Game one, a bit of a stomp for Liquid, and game two, a definite stomp for Liquid.
Yeah, they actually already had Ags on the Doom there. That was the second Ags that we just saw. That's how far ahead they were that game. They just picked the perfect heroes that were just so hard for Liquid to counter in the mid game. If they hadn't, like, Liquid had to win fights. They took some towers, but they didn't really turn around anything significant that game like they did in game one. And they've got to do that with that kind of a draft disadvantage, with those cores versus those cores, to take the win.
Well, I mean, so I'm looking